Okay, I think we're live. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is 8 days a week, repurpose your social media content, and I am Stacy Nichols. I've been a full-time DJ for 12 years, and this is definitely a fresh and new wedding MBA experience for me as a presenter. So forgive me if this isn't like the best virtual presentation you've ever seen, but let's get right into it and get you guys going here. So what we're going to talk about today is, of course, why content marketing is important, because repurposing your content is based on, obviously, the importance and a fair understanding of what content marketing is. Two, I'm going to go over some blogging mistakes to avoid. And the reason is because what's the point of repurposing content that isn't our top quality? If no one's seeing our content right now, there's not really any point in refurbishing it, refreshing it, resharing it. So we're going to discuss that, and then we will go into repurposing content. And section 4, we're going to talk about an actual plan with some samples for my own business on how to recycle your content. And as a little bonus, I have at the very end, not necessarily content repurposing, but like content stretching. So I have how to turn one wedding into 4 pieces of content. There we go. Okay, so the Content Marketing Institute is kind of the main go-to source for everything related to content marketing. And I think they're the best place to get a definition of content marketing from. And they say that it's a marketing technique of creating and distributing valuable content, such as, now I'm adding this part here, articles, videos, tutorials, lists, social media posts, podcasts, tweets, images, infographics, ebooks, and playlists to attract and acquire a clearly defined audience. So essentially, content marketing is using the creation of content as a way to market your business. It's kind of in the same vein as giving away free stuff to get content, to get customers. It really falls under the same umbrella, okay? But we're giving away stuff of high value. This is a screenshot from my website on the back end of my WordPress, showing the kind of traffic that I am getting daily from my own blog. So averaging somewhere around like 350 or 400 hits per day. And I don't know what your traffic to your blog looks like, but I would be willing to bet I've probably just put you on the edge of your seat. Like, how is she doing this? Okay. It's so easy, you guys. I'm going to teach you the whole system, and it really is pretty effortless. Okay. Content marketing is the present and future of marketing. It's efficient, compelling, and subtly persuasive. Let's jump into some statistics here. Content marketing gets 3 times the lead per dollar spent than paid search ads. So like Google AdWords. Content marketing generates over 3 times as many leads as traditional advertising and costs 62% less. Small businesses with blogs get 126% more lead growth than small businesses without blogs. 77% of internet users read blogs. I feel like I don't know how that's not 100%. Everybody has stumbled on a blog at some point or another. Excuse me. After reading recommendations on a blog, 61% of US e-consumers made a purchase. Content marketing is 6 times more powerful, 6 times more powerful than traditional marketing for converting visitors to leads and leads to sales. 6 times. Websites with blog content have 434% more search engine indexed pages than those that don't. Businesses publishing 16 or more posts a month get almost 3.5 times more traffic than businesses publishing 4 or less. Basically nothing. Okay, this is some mind-blowing stuff here, you guys. So I hope that I have you extra excited to learn what's coming. Before we get into the recycling, again, like I was saying, we're going to talk about crucial blogging mistakes to avoid. So the first thing before I jump into this is I want you to think about what are the differences between the Dewey Decimal System and Google, okay? They are both methods of delivering a high volume of content to people searching for things in a systemized manner. With the Dewey Decimal System, right, everything is alphabetized, and then each subject has a corresponding number, and then each book is given a code, and all those codes are all placed in order. And you could literally just you could go to the card catalog, you could take the card of the book that you're looking for, and you could walk straight to the library, literally to that exact section where you need it, and you could find it. A topic like rocks that might appear in gardening and geology, when you're searching, you can say, no, I don't want to look under the geology tag for rocks. I want to look under gardening because I'm looking up, decorative rocks for my backyard. Now with Google, obviously, things are very different. With Google, you type something in and Google tries to figure out what you're thinking and to find the best result. What happens, of course, when people publish a book, the publisher has all the rules of the Dewey Decimal System and they categorize it properly. They tag it, they create an index, they make sure it has the proper coding. When people write blog posts or create their websites, we have no rules from Google. We literally have no idea how their search engine works. That's a huge, huge secret. And every once in a while, they give us tiny slivers. Oh, we're doing this now. 3 weeks later, nah, we're not doing that anymore. Dewey's Decimal System has never changed, right? It's been the same forever. Okay, so there is some Dewey Decimal type thinking that you can bring to Google. And although they don't necessarily publish, this is what our algorithm is, they definitely do give suggestions and guidelines. And one of the first huge big things that I recommend, of course, is that you categorize your blog. The category for your blog is like the table of contents of a book. It tells people where they're going and allows them to navigate your content. Basically, to create categories, you just go into the back end of the blog and you'll see a thing that says categories, and just write some out that are relevant to what it is that you do. These are the categories that appear on my blog. Again, I'm a DJ. Corporate events, just my own personal self, music and mixes, news and miscellaneous, real San Diego weddings, and wedding planning. Those are what categories look like. It tells you like this is all the content that's here and it's organized, okay? This is categories in action, okay? When you make your blog, Google indexes each and every category as if it were its own site. So you can see here on the right side of the screen, it says San Diego August Weddings. That's a category of my blog. When someone clicks on that category, they will see all of the San Diego August weddings. So I'll just automatically appear in this, like as if there were a search result, right? But like I said, Google indexes each one of those categories. So here I have Googled San Diego August weddings, and you can see that the category of the same name for my blog is one of the top search results, outranking 2 San Diego bridal magazines and Wedding Wire. This is why it's important to use categories on your blog, because it literally makes all these like extra websites, free websites that are being read by Google, and they rank crazy well, okay? Next is, of course, your tagging system for your blog. That would be like the index of a book. An index is literally just a list of any possible, not necessarily like a topic, but a theme that could be found in the material, okay? The tagging system you will typically find at the bottom of the blog. This is a screenshot from my blog. It will say something like tags, and then you'll see these kind of clickable link, type looking things. And if you click on them, it'll take you to a page just like the category one that has all of the Rancho Valencia resort weddings all listed together on one page. Again, also, tags, just like categories, are also indexed by Google. Okay, so just simply by adding a category and a tag system to your blog, literally every tag, every category has created, 50 new doorways for consumers to get to your content, right? Because each one of these categories or tags is essentially a searchable website with that content on it. Next thing is the Dewey Decimal Number. That's a huge part of the system, right? Well, the Google version of your Dewey Decimal Number is the permalink. The permalink is the URL where the blog is located. So it's the actual web address, the actual page, okay? What do we think of the difference between these two permalinks? SanDiegoDJStacy.com/Dia de los Muertos playlist Day of the Dead songs versus SanDiegoDJStacy.com $P=432. We've all seen blogs that have those kind of permalinks. We're like, not only is it ugly, but obviously Google is not getting any juice or data or info, and they don't know where in the library of internet content to put your blog post. So realistically, it's going in the trash, okay? It's going at the bottom of the stack. Okay, so that's organizing, right? Let's talk about some search engine optimization tips for the content. Use your keyword phrase in the title, the subheading, the image titles, and the alt tags. I'm gonna walk you through all of this with a sample blog from my page, okay? And then you also want to create anchor links. Anchor links are text within the blog post that links to another relevant blog post from your website. Here we have the example of Hannah and Brian's In-N-Out Secluded Garden Estates wedding. So the name of the venue is Secluded Garden Estates, and the venue name plus the word wedding is generally always my keyword phrase. I don't try to squeeze DJ in there. You'll see a lot of people will be doing like Secluded Garden Estates wedding DJ. I don't know who searches for that. I'm pretty sure people are aware of the fact that DJs can play anywhere. Nevertheless, just again, like the whole point of content marketing, the whole mentality of it is that you're giving something away for free. So I don't need to be like too spammy about like using DJ in there, because if I get them on my website at any point in the planning process, which is what using a keyword phrase like this does, by the time they're ready to get flowers or hire a DJ or whatever else, they come across you a second time, they already like and trust you because they found valuable content on your blog during the planning phase. Okay, so here we have in red, there's the keyword phrase at the top. Right below it, permalink, bam, you're gonna see the keyword phrase again. First paragraph of the blog, you have the anchor link, San Diego Wedding DJ, and that links to my sales page. And then you continue on down a few more words and you'll see the keyword phrase again. Okay, all of your blogs should follow the same format. Scroll down a little bit further, and in the subheading, it says Secluded Garden Estates Wedding Reception. Okay, so again, keeping up with that keyword phrase. Go down a little bit further, I have another anchor link, Cocktail Hour Dinner Music Playlist. This links to the category on my blog where all the cocktail and dinner music playlists are. Again, we've got the keyword phrase there, immediately following it. On the back end of the site, you'll see that all of the images also have that same keyword phrase in it. Now, this is what you need to do, okay? You take pictures at the event, edit them up nicely. In this case, I like to make little collages of them. I just stick a bunch of images together because I'm taking pictures with my cell phone. I'm not a professional photographer, so I feel like if I keep the images small and then, it makes it better for everybody. So when you save the image, it should be called Secluded Garden Estates Wedding 1, okay? That's how it appears in the hard drive of your computer. Then when you upload it to your computer, to your WordPress or your blogging format, sorry, it already has the keyword in the image title, okay? So it's gonna say, like, for example, secluded garden estates wedding 1.jpg, okay? Alt text is like if the image doesn't load, those are the words that will appear in the box. So alt text, you should also make sure that it has keyword phrase. Google reads all of this stuff, even though it's on the back end. And here is a screenshot of the code from the same blog page, and you can see underlined here, secluded garden estates wedding 1.jpg, okay? All right, so you know some basic blogging tips, right? So you can get your content found. Content marketing is amazing in and of itself, but when you understand like the finesse and the art and everything behind repurposing the content you already created, like it's truly magical, okay? So repurposing content is about creating a system to maximize exposure of each piece of content created. I don't know if you guys know Neil Patel. He is definitely an online marketing genius. Highly recommend all of his stuff, but he says quite simply, write less, promote more. Because a lot of times what we do is we put all of our energy into writing the post or creating the video, whatever content you're into. And then we just hit publish and we forgot about it. Okay, hitting publish is the beginning of the journey for that content. It's not the end. Here is a diagram that I have put together showing some different ways in which you can systematically repurpose one blog post. And as you can see here, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12-ish plus ways that we can repurpose one blog post. Okay, that's an insane amount of traffic. Okay, so in the middle there, you see the blog post. Now to the right, we have spin-off blog posts. Okay, so let's say the original blog post is, you know, just some wedding tips or whatever. A roundup post is where I take all of the posts I've written with wedding tips and I say, you know, 8 wedding tip guides. That's a roundup post. I literally just put links to all of the other wedding tip posts. That's it. I can rework it, okay? So what was at the bottom, I'm gonna move to the top, and what was in the middle, I'm gonna refresh, and then that second paragraph, probably just take that out, do some new research and plug that in. But essentially, I am just reorganizing the same theme. I'm gonna put a new shiny title on it, okay? I can turn it into a list. So let's say it was originally written as a paragraph, or as 5 paragraphs or 10 paragraphs. I can take the data from the blog post and just make it into a list. So make it more of a sleekly delivered piece of content. I can make a spin-off, okay? So if the original post was something related to wedding tips, the spin-off could be, you know, 5 more tips about the same topic. Or it could be an insider's opinion on those tips. And then I just basically talk about what I think about them. Okay, so you're kind of starting to see like how it works. You're not constantly just sitting down at a blank screen and thinking, I need to create something. Like that is the thing that happens the least with content marketing, okay? Next thing, if we make our way around the chart here, is a Pinterest image. So literally you can just take your cell phone, which is going to be vertical and long the way that a Pinterest image should be tall. Just pull up your blog post on your cell phone, take a screenshot of it, and then pin that to Pinterest with a little description and link it back to your website, to the blog post. You can also take that same image that you're using for Pinterest, and you can just make it into a square image, shorten it up, crop it, and so forth, and you can use that as Instagram content. Not a lot of people, especially in our industry, are putting blogs on their Instagram, but if it's something suitable for that, like maybe a quote or a list or something, but you see my point here. So it's maybe you're only taking one picture from the blog post, or Maybe you're just taking one quote from the post or whatever, but you can definitely work Instagram and Pinterest content out of a single blog post. We move over one more directly under the blog, we see tweets. I like to tell my virtual assistant that these are tweetables. And basically what I ask him to do is go through the blog post and pull out, 5 to 10 little nuggets from the post that could be tweeted. So just basically one sentence things. They might be a tip or a detail about the wedding, the song that was played, etc. Those are just examples of tweetables. So you're going to go through the blog post, you're going to pull out some tweets. Now from those tweets, you can turn each one of those into a pin. You just have to take the sentence and put it over a nice image and make sure it's in a tall vertical type Pinterest friendly format. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. We make our way further around here, live broadcasting. So you can read and or discuss the content in your blog post live on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever platform, or on multiple platforms at the same time, right? So I can have this computer is on Facebook, my DJ computer is on YouTube, and my cell phone is on Instagram, right? I mean, how many devices do we all have in the house at this point? There's no reason you don't need to be on like 3 places at once easily. Or of course you can use like StreamYard or one of those platforms like that. Okay, now if we look at the live stream, you'll see I have a down arrow from there going to a podcast. So let's say you went live on YouTube. You can actually take the audio out of the video, you can extract it and turn that audio into a podcast episode. Okay, so what we're not doing when we create content is like, today I need to do a podcast, come up with content for that. Tomorrow I need to go live on my channel, come up with new content for that. Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I have to write a blog post. Okay, I got to come up with content for that. What we're not doing is coming up with new content every day. What we're doing is using our energy and effort to create effortlessly amazing content the first time around, maybe only 1 to 2 pieces of amazing content a month. And we're spending the rest of the month chopping it up, repurposing it, reposting it, repackaging it, and promoting it. Okay. I'd like to throw this in here too, because really this does fit under the umbrella of promoting the content. These are places where you can post a blog, a video, a list, images, and you'll get more eyes onto your content. Because again, like I was saying, when you hit publish, that's the beginning of the journey for that piece of content. It's not the end, okay? So hopefully you guys all got a screenshot or picture of that. And then I have one more here. SlideShare is huge. Flipboard. Okay. This is my unicorn blog post. You can see there has 823 shares on Pinterest, 103 on Facebook. This one blog post generates like 80% of the traffic to my website and lots of leads. It has landed me like playing at a 3-day long Latin conference as a non-Hispanic person. It's just opened a lot of doors for me, okay? So it's called 34 Gringo Friendly Spanish Dance Songs for Intercultural Mexican Wedding. If you've heard me speak at the Wedding MBA before, you've definitely heard me talk about this blog post because I use it as an example all the time. And you'll also notice that the title of the post, the first thing you see there is a pin. So I definitely make a point to include that. Okay, now how have I used the mindset of repurposing content with my most popular blog posts? Okay, so one of the first things that I did was I created a YouTube playlist of the songs that are in the blog post. Okay, so YouTube playlist, super easy. In fact, my assistant did it. Super easy to create, but now someone can search on YouTube and find my content a lot more quickly than if they were Googling and a YouTube result were to pop up, okay? After that, of course, I have a printable. I don't know why printables are so big in our industry, but they are, and that's fine. I feel like, you know, we all see the brides with the notebooks that have the contract printed out and the floor plans printed out. And like, I get it. Honestly, I probably would be that type of bride myself if I hadn't gotten married on the beach with like 10 people there. If I had like an actual wedding, I would be like a printed notebook kind of person myself. So I figure if someone's planning their wedding and they just really don't have time right now to get this, you know, I'm just going to print it. And then when I hire my DJ, I'll just give them the list. Next is a spin-off blog post, which is one of the examples that I mentioned earlier. And in this case, I asked myself, okay, so if I have this person here in my presence that is interested in gringo-friendly Spanish dance songs for an intercultural Mexican wedding, which is such a niche thing, what does that person probably also need or want? A Spanish mother-son wedding dance song list, okay? I Googled this and there's a lot of results for father-daughter songs in Spanish, but not for mother-son. In fact, I think my post, you know, well, at the time was the only one. And I really had to dig deep to get the content for it ready to go. I had dug through formats and old client files, online formats and client files and stuff to get it all put together. But that's an idea of, or an example of a spin-off post. Okay, so start recycling. Essentially, and I said at the beginning when I gave the definition for content recycling that it's about creating a system. So that's really what we're going to talk about in this section, okay? So because we're in the wedding industry and things are so detailed with what we do, literally each and every one of us in some way, shape, or form has to create some kind of content for that wedding. It might be a timeline, a playlist, a design board, a menu, a client file of some type or another. Okay, we have in our possession some basis of some foundation of content already. Okay, so essentially what I do for my own blog is I plug in that content that comes from my working document of the wedding. I plug that content into an easily repeated system that literally runs on autopilot. I don't even put any of these blog posts together myself. I have an assistant from Upwork who works for $10 an hour. He lives in Bangladesh. He's been working for me for like 5 years. In fact, he just got married himself on September 4th. And I was like, how was your DJ? Because he's been writing all these wedding DJ posts for me for years, right? Anyway, so you use your energy and your focus as a business owner to create the system and let somebody else do it for you, okay? And that's it. So here is an example of the system that I use, okay? So as a DJ, I have a timeline with a script and a playlist for the wedding. I have a lot of content, honestly. I know not like a dress shop or whatever, gonna be like, I got like a code for a dress and some measurements. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to figure out how to work it for everybody. This is what I use, okay? So my assistant gets this form and then takes this and meshes it with the outline from each wedding. So it says 1, I'll send you the wedding outline. 2, copy and paste the following into a blog post. So he takes kind of the empty format post, he copies that whole thing there into a blog post. And then he goes into the blog post and all the yellow places he replaces with information from the outline. Where it says bride, he puts in Sarah. Where it says groom, he puts in Bob. Where it says venue, he puts in Tom Ham's Lighthouse. The date, the venue, and so forth. And he just literally plugs it in exactly how I have instructed. At the bottom of the instructions, it even tells him how to share the content, how to publish it in multiple places, how to categorize it, how to tag it. Everything has a system. Everything literally has a system, okay? Obviously, I proofread and I hit the publish button on everything that comes out. That way, it's not like every blog post is exactly the same. I'll change up the wording here and there. And because I was the one that's actually at the wedding and he wasn't there, I may include some other details of something crazy that happened that's not really on the outline or whatever like that. And then at the bottom too, you can also see the list of tags. I've literally here's all the tags for the website. If any of these are relevant, please mark them. I've just made it really idiot proof, okay? A few tools to make your recycling easier. These are all WordPress things. If you guys are using Wix or whatever, I can't, I have never used it. I can't really advise you. But for those of you on WordPress, which I do recommend, if you haven't started a blog yet, by the way, highly recommend WordPress, okay? So a plugin is like an app that you can add to your website. Okay, so I highly recommend Snap, Social Networks Auto Poster. And it basically, when you click the publish button on the blog post, it will automatically share your post to a variety of different websites. I also like Revive Old Post, which takes a post from 3 months ago or a post from 6 months ago, and it retweets it or it reposts it to my Facebook page. Hootsuite or any post scheduler, honestly, it allows you to plan your content in advance, which makes it really easy. You hear people talking about making a content calendar and just taking one day for the month to, schedule out all of your content. This is what they're talking about. You're going to do it with a tool like Hootsuite. And then I really like Shareaholic, which it puts the share buttons on the top and the bottom of each blog post so that you can see how many people are sharing everything, but also to make it really easy for the people that are on your content to promote it for you for free, right? Definitely want that. Okay, here we go. Kind of the pièce de résistance, if you will. How to turn one wedding into 4 pieces of content. Obviously, the no-brainer here is you can write up the wedding, which is basically the format we were just discussing that I have plugged into the system with my assistant. That's a real wedding write-up, okay? So if you're at the wedding or if you've sold the dress or whatever, you can write about the final dress, the wedding, the final flower arrangements. Second piece of content from that one wedding, you can interview another vendor from the wedding. And basically what I do is I just send them a list of questions. Well, first of all, during the wedding, I'm like, oh, it's been great working with you. Are you interested in being featured on my blog? And, I might tell them how much traffic I get to my blog. And, nevertheless, they're like, yeah, sure. So not only does it give me free content, because literally I'm just going to copy and paste a list of questions in an email and send it to them, and they're going to send me a blog post pre-made back. All I have to do is proofread it and post it. And I do ask them to include some pictures and stuff, but content plus great networking. Next way, you could write a tips post for hosting a wedding at that venue based on your experience there. So even if you've only ever done one wedding at that event or at that venue, you're still way ahead of the bride who has never had a wedding there and has 1,000 tiny little questions about how's the lighting going to be at 6:30 at night, and how cold is the air conditioning in there? Will they let me turn it up or turn it down if I want? The venue manager's not really getting back to me on that. And did they use those linens, or is it the linens I saw that when I was there, but they said they weren't going to use those? All those things, right? Like we start spinning. So many details. So if you've done even one wedding there, you can advise them on how was the lighting? How was the noise? What was the parking situation like on a Saturday? Because they've probably only ever been there on a Tuesday midday, right? So even if you've only done one wedding there, you're still an expert, trust me. And finally, 4th way to suck some content out of one wedding is posting something from your specialty. DJs, how about the cocktail set, caterers, a recipe, or the menu, photographers, maybe you unboxed some new light equipment that you used at the wedding venue. Maybe the couple did a really unique floor plan and you want to share it. Or maybe you did something new with linens, or they used a new arbor that you haven't had before, or whatever. But you can think of something specifically related to your segment of our industry and go from there. Examples of each one of these, okay, Real Wedding Write-Up. Here we have Sierra and David's Green with Envy, Temecula Creek Cottages Wedding. Interviewing another wedding pro. This is actually someone I met at a previous wedding MBA who happened to live in my area. So I call my series of interviews, I call them San Diego Wedding Rock Stars. And that was Caitlin from EC Style Bar. And the tips post. This is honestly insane how many leads this particular blog post has generated for me. But side note, guys, only do tips posts about venues that you like working with, because you will get a lot of leads from people who are getting married at that particular venue, because they're going to hire the venue and then they're going to hire whatever you do. Okay, so if you're a venue, that then this may not be applicable. But nevertheless, insider secrets for a fabulous Tom Ham's Lighthouse wedding. Okay, and you want to use those words like insider secrets. Try to stay away from just like tips. It's kind of boring. Insider secrets, a lot more exciting. And finally, something from my specialty, DJ Stacy's Spicy Bachata and Salsa Wedding Cocktail Hour playlist. DJs, how often has a bride or groom literally handed you a playlist? I want you to play these 30 songs for the cocktail hour, and I want these 50 songs at dinner. And you're like, great, you just handed me 2 blog posts. You just gave me 2 free pieces of content. And that's exactly the case with this particular set. The bride found me through my content marketing. She booked me, and then she gave me 2 more pieces of content to continue furthering the content machine. Okay, so that brings us to the end. I've put up my Instagram, TrackStarDJ, and please feel free to email me or text me. You can hit me up on any of my websites. I'm at weddingbizconsultant.com if you want coaching or consulting. And, honestly, don't be shy about reaching out, because I really do miss speaking to you all live and seeing your reactions and hearing your questions and, really helping you get the material and knowing that when you walked out of the room, you had some actionable plan for how to improve your business. So really don't feel shy about oh my gosh, this is her personal phone number. It's fine. I wouldn't give it to you if I didn't want you to have it. So I'd love to hear your feedback on the presentation, or how you implemented any of these tips into your business, or just things you're confused about, anything like that. Don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, that is what the Wedding MBA is about, for all of us to network and talk about our businesses. So it's just going to happen on texting or Instagram or whatever this year instead of in person, but let's still make it happen. Nevertheless, it's been a pleasure presenting for you, and I hope you found the material to be really helpful. So have a great rest of your day, rest of your conference, you guys. Thank you.